Yeah, really great point. We're going to continue to keep the ball rolling. Now that we've kind of talked about everything in which we need to prepare, send in a resume, the cover letter, and everything. Let's talk a little bit about how you find the available jobs. Frank or Dr. Payne, can you talk a little bit about where do you look to find the jobs?
Well, first thing I tell the people I'm in touch with to do is to go to the TMEA, that's the Texas Music Educators Association job board. They've got a comprehensive board there that's constantly being updated, and there are postings there. I also suggest they look, and of course, I don't know what websites are like around the country, but I think that's a good place to start. Something else you do is you figure out what are the school districts I would like to teach in. Go to their websites and see if there are postings, or just send a letter, cover letter to the director of fine arts, whomever might be the contact person, and just to introduce yourself and to let them know that I'm going to graduate in the spring, and I would love to be considered for any openings that you might have. So you got to do you can't wait for the jobs to come to you. You've got to get out there and seek them out, make connections, and again, one of the best things you can do, especially if you're like a December graduate, the best jobs are not usually available in January. Usually they're trying to fill positions at that time because of someone retired, or maybe some maternity leave or something like that. Those positions are not always the ones that you're going to stay with long term. You might, but it's somewhat rare. In that situation, you could use a semester perhaps to go do some observe programs, spend some time getting to know the people in the places you would like to teach, so that you become someone that they know from direct contact. Dr. Payne, what do you think?
I think some of the things the websites, most of your states are going to have those websites, like you mentioned. The other one that I would say is talk with your advisor. So for instance, I've had students, that have moved out of state right away, and so we had a student, and she moved to Washington State right away. Well, the very first thing she did, she came to me and she was like, I'm moving to Washington State. I've never lived there. What do I do? Well, one of my good friends from grad school is the director of bands at Washington State University. So I get on the phone and I called Dan and I said, Dan, I've got somebody moving up there. Do you have any insight to any areas close? Because they were moving close to Pullman. I said, do you have any ins with any openings? If you do, I've got this, great graduate coming up. She would be a fantastic fit with any, program K through 12. If you'll send that to me, I've copied her on this email. We can get the ground running. Worked out great. And within, a month or so, she had a job. Now, sometimes those processes take longer. So whenever I talk with our students about moving out of state, so like you mentioned, Frank, sometimes you have to lay the groundwork in order to do that. I had some students that relocated to they're a married couple, and he was studying clarinet performance at University of North Texas. And so it took about, I think it was 9 months for his wife got a music teaching job there. And I was trying to remember which district. I can't remember now right offhand. But what she did in the interim is she worked at Wiley East as a teaching private flute, and slowly getting the experience, foot in the door, developing the connections, and then about 9 months later, she was able to interview for that position. Now, at that point, I called a few of my friends that teach in North Texas, and so but it was just a little too far away from Denton for them to be able to go after that. But reach out to your advisor. We start this process off by saying it's a small world. We have your advisor will have connections all over. All you have to do is just ask and say, where should I go? They will be able to put you in touch with the people that will make this process as smooth as possible.